Hollywood writers are back to work this morning for the first time in more than 3 months. Last night, members of the Writers Guild of America voted 92.5% in favor of ending the strike that's crippled the entertainment industry. Joining us this morning from Los Angeles is Jonathan Handel. He's an entertainment lawyer and the former associate counsel of the Writers Guild of America West. Jonathan, thank you for joining us.
Seamus, it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Is this a victory for the writers?
Well, it is. It's a qualified victory, perhaps, because what they got was a good contract, although perhaps not a great one. But what they did do was successfully face down 6 multinational media conglomerates. And achieve a beachhead for themselves on the internet.
That's right, and that was the battle. They wanted to be able to get revenue generated from, I guess, their works being shown on the internet, and the way a lot of people watch TV series these days, on DVD, correct?
That's right. There really were 2 components to it. One is television programs and motion pictures made available on the internet, whether download, iTunes or Amazon, or streaming on abc.com or other websites. The other issue was content created originally for new media. In other words, television series that run on the internet or run on cell phones.
So that Rubicon,
areas, the writers achieved.
In the beginning of the 21st century now, that Rubicon has been crossed. So I guess what a lot of people are wondering who are watching this show, Jonathan, is when can I get new episodes of Grey's Anatomy?
Well, I can't give you an exact answer on Grey's Anatomy, but I can tell you this. Restarting an industry is not as simple as rebooting a writer's laptop. What we're going to see is a reawakening of the television business. In 6 weeks or so, you will see new episodes of some of your favorite shows. Now, that will mean a short season for those shows, leading on into June. So some of those shows are not coming back until the fall. 24, for example, probably lost as well. And some shows that were on the bubble, that weren't doing so well in ratings, will be casualties and won't be back. And
when there's a hole in an actor's schedule, too, I mean, they're going to fill it with something, so they may not be available. Speaking of actors, is it possible that we could have another Hollywood strike? Because as I understand it, the Screen Actors Guild, so the actors, their union, their contract is up in June. So what's the chance we could have another strike on our hands?
That's exactly right, June 30th, and it's touch and go. There are 2 actors' unions that usually bargain together. The Screen Actors moved to sever that relationship because they wanted to be more assertive in their negotiations. Now they're backing down a bit, but we really don't know. It's a developing story, and people in this town are assuming it's a possibility.
Is the issue for them revenue from new media and from the internet, DVD, that sort of thing as well?
Yeah, the largest issues for them are exactly the same as the issues for the writers.
So this deal could be used as a template for them. We may not have to go through the same thing again.
Well, that's right, but what they have indicated, at least at one point, was they weren't going to take this deal without some improvements. Just as the writers didn't take the director's deal without improvements. So it is definitely touch and go.
Let me ask you about the Oscars. So, I mean, with no strike, there's no picket line. With no picket line, that means that the actors, presumably everything goes on as normal?
The Oscars should be as normal. There'll be the glitz, the glamour. Maybe we'll see a new award for Best Labor Negotiation. I don't know. The writers and the directors might share that one.
Well, Gil Cates, the producer, saying that the writers are going to have to write very, very fast to have all those quips ready for the host, Jon Stewart. I guess that's the one thing that's been holding things up. I mean, these writers obviously weren't writing up until today.
They at least shouldn't have been writing under the strike rules.
Right.
We don't know, but presumably they weren't. They are going to have to do a lot of tap dancing very quickly.
Okay, Jonathan, thank you very much for your insight, your perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, a look at this year's new cars and the award-winning top Canadian car.